Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, August 19th, 2025 meeting of the Candidates County Board of Commissioners. Everybody please stand for the pledge. I want to welcome everybody who's watching on YouTube and everybody who takes an interest in Candidates County government. And we're coming off of a very successful, I believe, Candy Ohio County Fair, and happy to see Commissioner Dale Anderson survived it as well. So we have a relatively short agenda today, and so first of all, we will begin with a request for approval of the agenda.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Imdeck moves. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We also have the consent agenda, which consists of the routine items, the approval of the August 5 County Board legal minutes, approval of the auditor's warrants and claims, approval of human services warrants and claims, and consideration of a special limited deer hunt at Prairie Woods Environmental Learning Center. Are there any of these consent items that any commissioners wish to pull from the agenda? Hearing none, then I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Also move.
Commissioner Dale Anderson moves. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Corky-Berg seconds. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We will have at this time consideration of Resolution 2025-27, declaring a state of emergency for Candy Ohio County, and Emergency Management Director Ace Bonema will present. Ace, good morning.
Good morning. Ace Bonema, Canada County Emergency Management Director. It's been a busy summer, as you're all well aware. I'm going to be talking about Resolution 2027 or 2025-27 in a second. Just a little update on the June 13 floods. That was our first storm, and as you know, we did the declaration on that. We are still waiting to hear from the governor's office. I did speak to Homeland Security Emergency Management yesterday. They assured me that the process is where it needs to be, and things are still set for us to get approval on that. It's been a busy year for them as well. We are still going through our crisis cleanup, people that had called in for assistance and on our hotline and stuff. We still have a few people that are looking for some help. We're currently working with some local churches and stuff to try and find those people the assistance. We did have some volunteer organizations come through shortly after the Bemidji storms and stuff. It kind of, volunteers are being taxed all across the state. So we appreciate the help that we got, and we are getting things cleaned up. But this resolution that I'm talking about today is not really flood related. It's related to the storms that we had in the Sunburg, New London area, the high winds, rain and hail on July 27. And this declaration starts that process again with the state of Minnesota. We will not, fortunately, I guess, reach federal levels for any assistance, but this is for public infrastructure, and mainly it's the power company, Candy Co-op Power, and then the city of Sunburg. We're going to have a preliminary damage assessment with the state today to gather all those numbers. But as we talked about before, our threshold is $103,000 for the county. We're currently at $105,000 in our estimates. So we know that like Public Works and stuff, they did a lot of work on the storm and stuff, but some of those, some things don't meet the thresholds depending on which category it is in the public infrastructure. So those are things that we need to look at in this estimate today. So currently looking for approval on Resolution 2025-27. With that, we hope to get the governor to sign this one when he gets time, and that would allow 75% reimbursement on some of those expenditures. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Chair, I would move on Resolution 2025-27.
We have a motion to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Dale Anderson seconds. Discussion. Commissioner Imdeck.
Thank you. Ace, do you know if opportunity costs can be included? Like the city of New London and city of Spicer lost almost a full day of business because of power being out following that storm that you referred to with Sunberg and New London, as well as internet service for much of the area. Can that be counted?
Not towards the public infrastructure. It doesn't fall into one of those categories. We can check on the small business stuff. I don't think it's gonna meet it on this one, but those are questions that we can ask during that preliminary damage assessment with HSEM when they come out.
And then I do have a comment, if I may. Go
right ahead.
I saw this morning, I'm feeling a little bit nervous that the governor or whomever makes the decision is going to allow for those storms, because Mankato and the Valley area, those events happened afterwards and they got approved. It was in today's paper. And so
Yeah.
I'm nervous about either one of our two events.
I totally understand that. From what I'm hearing from HSEM, it's a process. And in my personal opinion, there's more media coverage in some of those areas because it's the dollar amount, especially for the Beltrami County one, making it more of a front page than ours. And that was some of the reason too, that it's harder for us to get the volunteers in and stuff. But they set these criteria based on counties per capita, and we met that criteria. So I've never seen it before where the governor says, no, we don't like that county. It's, here's the rules, and do you qualify or don't you? From what we're seeing and from what the state is telling us, we do qualify. Just be patient, everything's in process. So it's kind of where we're at, I guess.
And to Commissioner Imdeck's point, I saw the same article this morning, and I asked you the same question ahead. It's a little unnerving. I think that's the right thing to say. But would it also be possible that part of the reason is that we don't know for sure the full extent of damages, given that we've still got high water in parts of the county? Potentially.
That could possibly play as far as the governor signing. I would think that wouldn't stop them because we know that those numbers are going to go up. One thing that when I came here on July 1st, I believe it was, to get that last declaration, and then I came back to give an update on July 17th. I had called HSEM to give us an update as far as has the governor signed it, and they said it hadn't even been submitted to the governor's office then because there were other counties that didn't have their homework done, the numbers in, and so those counties are still associated with that June 13 storm, so that was kind of slowing the process as well. So it may be something totally unrelated to us. I would say let's not panic yet. They're telling us that everything's okay and on schedule, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'll come back in a month if we're not hearing from them.
Well, when you next visit with them, we're impatiently waiting. Anyone else with any questions for the director? Commissioner Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Bonema, I just was wondering or want to know if you will be able to guarantee us that this is the last emergency resolution this year? This is what, number 2 now? No, you've been working really hard and very busy with this in your group, and I want to thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
And it's important you bring these to us.
Yeah, I feel that, I mean, there's a lot of, Mel can attest that this isn't an easy process, and there's a lot of paperwork, and they don't easily just, oh, you need money, here you go. You kind of got to fight for it a little bit, but the way I look at it, especially like this one, this isn't going to affect a lot of our agencies, but the co-op, there was a lot of power lines down, and so for them to get reimbursed for 75%, that's tax dollars that we pay that are staying in the area instead of going to Beltrami or helping them out. So I think that it's worth us fighting for.
Anyone else? All right, we have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-27, declaring a state of emergency for Candioi County. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Ace, thank you so much.
Thank you.
and Thank you for your hard work. At this time, we'll ask Krista Krupa, Candido County Environmental Specialist, to come to the podium. And this is in regards to approval of a professional services agreement. Krista, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I am here before you today for approval of a professional service agreement and signing of that agreement between Candy Ojai County and Stantec Counseling. Back in 2019, the board passed a resolution to submit a technical assistance grant application to the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority for Big Candy Lake. We did that in 3 stages. This is our 3rd stage. So this is our southwest portion. As you saw in your packets, you kind of had that map that showed you the southern part of Big Candy Lake. This is actually a grant that is headed by the Lake Association, and Candy Ojai County is just acting as the financial entity for the Lake Association. So we're just kind of that pass-through for the funds. So we're just asking for approval of the technical assistance.
All right. Any questions for Krista?
Yeah, so this is just do a study right now, or is it further than that, or?
No,
Because I
it's
know
just a
we've talked
study.
about this a couple of years ago for other parts of that Big
Correct,
Candy.
yep, so this is the 3rd study on Big Candy Lake.
Okay.
There's been 2 other community assessment reports that have been filed for the other portions. Recommendation has been to keep it as is or to connect to the Lake Lillian community. But that infrastructure isn't able to support at this time. So it's basically up to the Lake Association as to what steps they want to take next.
Okay, thank you. With that, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve, to approve the professional service agreement between Candy Ojai County and Stantec Consulting Services for a community assessment report on Big Candy.
Thank you. Commissioner Dwayne Anderson moves approval of the agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Emdek seconds. Thank you. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Krista, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're at the 9:20 time, and Val Svor, County Assessor, is bringing a request for a fire abatement. We see these from time to time. Val, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. My name is Val Savor, County Assessor. I'm here with a request today for a motion for approval for a fire abatement for Richard Houski. The property was at 220 High Avenue Northeast in Wilmer. The parcel ID 95-730-1010. The house had complete damage, and it was actually October 31st of 2024 that the fire occurred. And we didn't get the application till much later than that. The home does have more than 50% damage. And currently, the home is to the bare studs, so we will be going back in the fall and reassessing it and putting it on the tax rolls for whatever has been completed as of January 2nd. So this reduction in taxes would be for the 2 months prior to the fire. It has to be for the complete months, so it would be for November and December. And so the reduction in taxes would be $200.34. This is what I would request for approval.
You've heard the request. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I so move to abate the taxes in the amount of $200.34.
Commissioner Berg moves. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Dale Anderson seconds. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Val, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
At this time, we will have Administrator Kelsey Baker presenting in regards to the completed Candy Ojai County Strategic Plan for 2025 through 27. Kelsey.
Yes, Kelsey Baker, Candy Ojai County Administrator. Today, I would be asking for approval on the strategic plan, as the board chair said, for 2025 through 2027. We worked with Dave Onmok, LLC, on creating the strategic plan. As you see, we had staff involved, commissioners involved, and I think it was a well-rounded process. And I think Dave did a phenomenal job on helping us navigate what these priorities are and what our goals should be for the next few years. We looked at a mission statement, we looked at values, we looked at key priorities for the foundation for our progress. So I just kind of want to talk through this a little bit. Once approved, this plan would be emailed out to all county employees, and I'll walk through that a little bit. But one of our priorities is to continue progressive leadership, to create a culture of one, to review our physical assets, and to be a community-centered partner. And the community-centered partner, I feel like, was something that we also referred to a regional hub. And then I think Commissioner Imdyke had a really good point about that at our last work session. And so I kind of pondered on what that word also means, but we're also very community-centered and collaborative on how we approach projects and goals and how we work with our partners within the county. And so I thought community-centered partner was maybe a better words for this, for one of our priorities. And so some of our implementation throughout this plan is to create an organization and direction to unite everyone towards a common purpose, provide a roadmap to guide policy decisions to the county board, improve the ability to commit time and resources to important priorities such as staff and opportunities, aligning employees around common strategic strategies and goals, and communicating the important priorities to residents, businesses, and stakeholders. And so there was a mission statement committee that got together that came up with some options that the board reviewed as well. And so our mission statement, once this is approved, if this is approved, would be we lead with integrity, serve with purpose, and empower potential. And our vision would be to be a driving force for progress, fostering trust, collaboration, and resilience to create a vibrant and sustainable future. And I think a lot of these word choices are who we have been, who we are, and who we want to be moving forward. And so I feel that in reviewing this plan with the department heads, with the board, I feel confident in that we're bringing our past to the present and into the future. I think these are some strong goals, strong priorities, but I think they're all sustainable and achievable. And so the document kind of lays out each of the strategies with the objectives, with the goals, goes into more depth. Each department has reviewed it. Some are specific. Some might be specific towards human resources. Some might be more specific. We bring up the weather radar gap. We bring up technology. We bring up being fiscally responsible, being financial stewards, roads and bridges. But we also loop in the infrastructure word, we loop in technology into that. Because as we're looking at our buildings and our technology, we sometimes just think road and bridges are our infrastructure, but we're widening that circle. And so what are we all including when we say infrastructure? And when we mean that, or when we say infrastructure, we're looping in roads and bridges, facilities, technology, all of that brick and mortar infrastructure, hardware. And so do you have any questions or comments regarding the strategic plan? I was hoping to have a logo ready to roll out, as you all were aware of. We're just not quite there. We are almost there. But that would be something that would be approved at a later date and time. But I didn't want to keep holding off on this strategic plan to be approved by the board. And so we are doing this in a twofold. But I feel comfortable with that. I feel comfortable that we'll have some options to you soon for an updated logo. But within this document, this would roll out and be implemented right away.
Are there any questions for Administrator Baker? Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I think you also feedback you wanted as well. Greatly, you put this together in a very fantastic way, very well done. And as you said, these are things we kind of believed all along, but to see it in print really is very helpful. And there's a little bit in there for everybody to look at, and some people may like other things versus certain things more so to grab hold of. But I'm looking at one of the goals in the strengthening fiscal responsibility and transparency by reviewing the budget process to improve efficiency, public understanding, and being prudent using our taxpayer funds. And I think this year we're really looking at that from that perspective going forward with our budget and feeling really positive. So thank you.
Good.
And everyone else that took part in this.
Yeah.
And all the staff.
Any other questions or comments for Administrator Baker? I just want to reiterate, and this is in the document itself, that this is not a static document. This is going to be a living, breathing document, and it's a reflection of our direction, decisions, and dedication to continuous improvement. That's a paraphrase, but it's in there. So I want to thank you for all of your work in getting this all lined up and getting everybody to the table. And I really like the idea of culture of one. That, to me, is the standout piece in all of this, where we're strongest when we act as one team, so.
And I think some ways, excuse me, if you go through is the initiation, the planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. One of the things, as Dave recommended throughout this process, is we'll be adding some of our strategies and goals to the board agendas. You'll see some of this information pulled out in maybe all staff emails and some of the publications. Melissa and I have been kind of figuring out ways, and I'll be working with each department on how we communicate this throughout the departments and the county as a whole.
Outstanding.
Mr. Chair, I would move on adopting the strategic plan as presented.
There's a motion to adopt the strategic plan as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Kelsey, thank you. And now you have another item for us as well.
Correct. Again, Kelsey Baker, Candioi County Administrator. With two commissioners being gone for the September 16th board meeting, I would request that we leave the September 16th board meeting as is, being that we will have a quorum. And then that way we can still approve warrants, claims, things like that, where there can be informational updates as needed, not approving the preliminary levy, and then to hold a special board meeting on September 23rd, that's the following Tuesday, the fourth Tuesday of the month, to solely adopt the 2026 preliminary levy. We wouldn't have any other topics on the agenda. It would just be to execute action on the levy resolution for 2026. Part of me why leaving that the 16th is there's still some informational topics that I think we can have staff or partners come and present on that will still be beneficial for the board and the public, and it's to keep the warrants moving forward instead of pausing for another week.
All right, are there any questions for Kelsey?
Does the 23rd work for everyone?
Yeah, it works for
I
me.
think you told us to hold that date.
Yep, but I just,
9 o'clock, right?
yep, 9 a.m.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Emdek.
It'd probably be beneficial that we have time to discuss the budget, because today we're seeing it for the first time, or since last week, I got my first glimpse of it. We'll talk about it somewhat today, and then we're gonna be approving it at that meeting, hopefully, the preliminary. So if we'd allow some time, in the agenda, and it looks like there'd be plenty to have some deeper discussions, if there's any questions that still remain.
And to that point, Kelsey, do you want to just take us through the process between today and for the public, so they know what the work is being done here? What the process is going to be to get us to that date where we have to certify the preliminary levy?
Absolutely. So in past practice, the board has always held a budget work session in August. And so for my process, when we have this August budget work session, is a time for the commissioners to review the initial budget. In this initial budget is also the administrator's recommendation to the budget. There are some things that I've worked through with department heads prior to leading up to this date. And so there are things that have been added and removed throughout this process. And so this is in essence the first run of what could be a preliminary budget. And also the administrator's recommendation that's coming in, and those are times that I need to hear from you. So today would be a time that you would provide insight where you're comfortable with coming in at, where are some of the key drivers, the questions that you have, And then if is a lot of discussion, then we would come back to the September 2nd board meeting and do another overview of the budget, answer some of those questions and concerns that you have. And typically then at the second meeting in September, you would approve the levy. In this situation, it'll be the fourth Tuesday that we would come back. And at that meeting, we would be finalizing the resolution. So the finalized levy dollar amounts would be in there in that resolution, and I would be asking for approval at that meeting. The 23rd isn't meant for a deep dive into a work session. It's meant to, here's where you're comfortable at, setting the preliminary levy. And then we continue to look at it. If it's too high, then we can keep chipping away at it. So that's kind of that final process. So in between today and September 2nd would be the time, if you do have some of those in the weeds, deep questions, would be now to ask Karen or myself so we can provide more of that information. You just heard our second quarterly reports for 2025, and we're right on schedule. Our numbers are looking good. And so I think where you'll see further into the budget work session is kind of the unknown within the human services, and they're not so much that we can control even at a state level, they're at a federal level. And so we're working through some of that. But like I said, today is the day to kind of let it all sink in, see what you're comfortable with. September 2nd, we'll do more of a overview again on the budget, and then we'll come back on the 23rd for final preliminary levy approval.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that for us and for informing the folks out in the public. Are there any other questions for Kelsey? All right. Thank you.
Did you have to vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. We
Yeah.
have to vote on setting the,
I don't think so. There's no motion, is there?
no, we
don't
need
think
a
so.
motion and a second to
Add the agenda.
add a special board meeting for the 23rd of September.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve a special board meeting to approve the 26 preliminary budget for September 23rd
Commissioner
At 9
Wayne
a.m.
Anderson
at
moves.
9 a.m., sorry,
9 a.m.
And that's right.
Thank you.
Yes, held here in the county boardroom.
in this location.
Yes. Okay, very good. And is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Embeck seconds. Discussion. All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Now, thank you. And, oh, you're still up here.
I am.
You're going to present on an RFP. Kelsey, go ahead.
Right, you guys are just moving along. Kelsey Baker, again, Candioi County Administrator. Before you today, I have a request for proposals for lease and recreational use of a county-owned property. This is the recently purchased landfill property, just south, our new property that we just purchased south of the landfill. I worked with Gary Gear on this, as there were a few questions a few meetings ago maybe about what are some options moving forward. County Attorney Shane Baker has reviewed this RFP, but I think it would be in the best interest of the county to send this out for an RFP to see what we would get to for entities who would want to utilize this and what that cost would be. And so really, the RFP is very straightforward. Because we have to print this in the paper. But it's very straightforward. I'll just do a high-level overview. It just talks about where the parcel are. We list out the parcel numbers, the property description, the scope of use. This would be something that I think, I would want your head nods on, is that we would be looking at a variety of uses and programming that this property could be used for, while preserving its rural character. So guided hunting, horseback riding, equestrian boarding or training, seasonal events, rentals, utilizing the home and the barn, the cabin, food and beverage focus events, pop-up dinners, things like that. It lists out the terms for the lease, what they would need to submit for the requirements, how we would evaluate. I think this is another key area that the county board should be aware of, is alignment with county goals and community benefits, operational feasibility and sustainability, financial terms and projected value, prosper qualifications and experience, environmental stewardship, and ability to begin operations in a timely manner. We don't want to sign a lease and something's not going to get moving right off the bat. and then the instructions. And so my thought process, depending on discussion with the county board today, I would submit this to the papers to be printed. Once we would get those back, we would review the submittals and work with the county attorney to create a contract, bring back to board for final approval. I know you want some tours. I have let Gary Gear know that, and so he will line up tours of the facility also hopefully within the next few weeks to do that. So I'm looking for any feedback. Is this comfort level? Do you have any concerns or comments regarding the RFP process?
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's a very, option that looks very positive. And from a couple different points of view that hopefully we can move forward, and we've talked about that with the landfill, that mitigate that problem down the road. And if we can look at it 5 years, maybe 10 max, if we do that, you know, that then at that point, it would be in a position we can turn around and sell it. I don't think government makes good landlords at all, but I like the idea that we're not trying to rent it on a monthly basis or anything like that, but if we look for a lease for 5 years, that is a very good option, and I'd be curious to see how this would come out. I think, though, that we, as a result, though, I think the board still should keep an open mind once these come in to see, are there any other options other than this? And I can't think of anything that would be better than this right now, but we should maybe address that too, is just that because we get something back, that we automatically have to choose one of those. You know, we still have to keep looking at options if we could. But very good, I'm glad we're moving forward. I've had questions from the community, like, well, what are you gonna do with that property? And I think we have a potential plan here. Very good.
Commissioner Dale Anderson.
I guess the only question I had was 5-year lease, if it isn't something that's gonna be able to use it for that 5 years, I mean, I'm guessing we have options to do a 1-year lease or something like that. I mean, I know there are certain things that would work great to have that long-term, but I just wanted to make sure we have that flexibility.
Yep, and I think if we looked at the language specifically, we could work with Shane on adding language like that within the contract, absolutely.
Commissioner Imdeck.
Thank you. And it might be somewhere other than on this document, but the maintenance management plan gives me a little pause because, you know, maintaining a piece of property like that can be quite expensive. And, you know, we could go back in there and find things that, you know, need attention that could be costly to us if it isn't taken care of. So you might want a little bit more detail in that.
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really do like the idea, though, that we really push the 5-year, that we get people responding to the request for proposal that are looking at 5 years versus the 1-year proposal, because we don't want to keep going back and forth, as Commissioner Imdeck talked about, too, that if it's a 5-year proposal, I think that type of lease, the renters would take on a lot more responsibility to keep the place up.
Absolutely, and that was the thought process
Yeah.
behind that a little bit. As you stated, sometimes county government, we are not the best landlords. I think we all can say that and maybe agree and learn to do better. And so that hope with that, why I added that language that makes me a little nervous as well, Commissioner Imdyke, regarding the maintenance management plan is because, and I can maybe add language to be more specific in that, because it is a large property. You know, those are costs coming in. I think why I wanted that, some sort of, for them to provide us a maintenance plan was that whoever wants to take this on, it's their responsibility. We're not gonna be sending out public works at a time, or we're not gonna be sending out facilities to go mow and, you know, care for that property or the home or the barn or things like that. And so this is a big undertaking for an RFP like this. And so I can look at that language before we submit it. But in hopes, like Commissioner Berg said, it's that 5-year, and so that we get someone in there that's gonna be serious about leasing this property long-term and not just a 1-year and then they're out and then we're doing this again.
And if I can piggyback on that a little bit, I think the way this is written, we're we're really aiming this at entities who have the bandwidth to submit a proper plan and have the bandwidth to be able to take care of that property the way that, at the very least, that the county would otherwise do that. And I didn't see it in here, but I'm sure because it's so standard that there are going to be financial guarantees demanded of the folks. I assume there's, if they have to, is there anything like a performance bond or anything like that that they have to provide in this instance?
No, and I think you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself. This is just the request for proposals. We have not, I don't know who's gonna submit anything. Once that's done and reviewed, then that's when we would work on probably a contract and what the language is in the contract. And then that contract or agreement would be brought back to board for final approval.
Well, thank you for putting up the pause sign for me. I appreciate that. Commissioner Imdak.
Thank you. However, if I'm going to make, give a proposal, I'd want to know some of that information. Maybe a good source would be other landlords. I'm thinking about like a well. I mean, you wouldn't expect someone who's leasing at 5 years to have to replace the well if the well goes to pot. So some of those major capital improvements, you know, whatever we end up with, there might be some set aside for those kinds of things. But, you know, another landlord might be able to help you out, like Doug Fenstra or something like that, who works with those kind of things.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
Thank you. Mine, I don't know if it's a question or more of a comment, but we don't have to accept the proposals if we don't like what we see. And it's just kind of like fishing, right? I mean, just to see what's out there and see what we get, so.
Well, we'll be watching that particular bobber pretty closely. So with that, this item is for information only. Are there any other questions for the administrator? All right, hearing none, thank you. At this time, and I'm just going to tell folks what we've got going on here right now. We're going to, in a moment, recess the county board meeting, and we will immediately reconvene as the Drainage Ditch Authority because we have a couple of items that we need to take care of in that regard. Although I don't, now when I look up, I don't see Austin, and that's probably because we're a little bit ahead, aren't we? Wow.
Take a break.
Well, and then we will recess the county board meeting, and when we come back, we'll reconvene, and then we will recess again, or something like that. We'll figure it out. We will recess the county board meeting.
IT, are you ready?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. And then we are being requested to execute a conflict waiver with Rinky Noonan Law Firm, yes?
Yes, correct. So it's with the conflict waivers with the County Ditch 20 Drainage Authority, and that's with Rinky Noonan. Rinky Noonan represents both Candido County Ditch 20 Drainage Authority and the Middle Fork of the Crow River Watershed District. There's a state project sponsored by the Middle Fork of the Crow River Watershed District to reconstruct the Green Lake and Lake Calhoun outlet structures that exist within a portion of County Ditch 20. The project will need certain approvals with the Drainage Authority. Rinky Noonan is asking to waive the conflict of interest created by this situation and allow them to represent the watershed district. The county attorney would represent the Drainage Authority on any future ditch proceedings for this matter specifically. The waiver's exclusive to this matter.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Chair, I would move to allow for the waiver of conflict with Rinky Noonan.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the conflict waiver as requested. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Commissioner Berg seconds, and Commissioner, you had your hand up?
Yes, Mr. Baker, I was wondering if you had any comments about,
Oh, this has happened before with Rinky Noonan where they've represented.
and you're comfortable with
clients,
it? That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
And we've had a relationship over the years too, so that's never been a problem with them specifically.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, then, we will move to a vote. All those in favor of the request signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Austin, thank you.
If I could, I have
Yeah,
one
you
more
may.
thing. For County Ditch 20, that's the main outlet for Green Lake. I just wanted to point out that we did float that with a kayak. I've flown it with the drone. Green Lake has experienced relatively high water levels right now. The main issue we're seeing is actually aquatic vegetation and wild rice patches in the channel of County Ditch 20. The water's still flowing through it relatively fast, but that most likely is part of the issue that Green Lake is experiencing right now. Once that aquatic vegetation dies off, I expect water levels to move faster through there. I am talking with the DNR on options that we could look at for the channel itself, so.
Outstanding. Commissioner Imdag.
Would the equipment they use for doing curly leaf pondweed work for cutting that vegetation?
In theory, yes, it should.
Because Nest Lake owns a piece of equipment like that.
Okay, that's something we can look into. Yeah, it is wild rice beds, is what we actually, it's one of the main aquatic vegetation that's in there, so.
And that
Go
is
ahead.
protected. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yep,
Maybe
aquatic
some-
rice
most
is,
no problem.
is protected. We would have to, again, work with the DNR to get a permit, or we'd have to look at maybe having the DNR take care of that. Yeah.
All right. All right, anything else?
Nope, that's all I have.
All
Thank you.
right. Well, thank you very much. And at this time, would accept a motion to close the Drainage Ditch Authority meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. We will close the Drainage Ditch Authority meeting, and we will reconvene the Candio High County Board of Commissioners meeting. At this time, we are at general business discussion and updates, administrative updates, appointments. Administrator Baker, is there anything else that you would have ahead of our work session that's, I was just going to say, we do have someone looking in on our meeting today. And would you mention?
Yeah, I have mentioned, Lisa Weiss was recently promoted to the auditor treasurer position. She's been our HR generalist for the past 7 years. And she brings a lot of strengths and qualifications for this position, and so we're excited for her to start full-time on the 15th, but she has been doing some training, also along with her current job that she's helping us throughout that transition as well. But she'll full-time start September 15th, so we're excited for that transition to happen, and we will be able to fill the HR generalist, so that will be a smooth transition internally for both departments as well. So I've been kind of working very closely with Karen Anderson, our CFO, and the other staff that are in the auditor treasurer office, just reviewing some schedules and updates and cleaning out a few things and going through things and just getting the office set up for when she starts. So yes, I did ask her to come in today to just watch the ditch hearing as the county auditor. She'll be involved with a lot of the minutes and things like that, some of the administrative side of things, being that her department does all of the financing on our ditch assessments. And so I thought she'd get familiar with that today, and then just for her to be in the room during the budget work session with the board and kind of start gauging some of that, because within this transition, we'll be looking at duties and responsibilities within the department head role, within the CFO and amongst the staff, and how that plays in. Like like I said before, we'll be going into an election year for 2026, so she will have her hands full. She'll be busy, but I don't question that she's qualified and that she's ready to do the job. So I'm excited for this transition. I always think it's a really cool opportunity when things like this can happen. We have a lot of good staff, and this it wasn't an easy decision, but we are moving forward, and I think she's eager to start.
And I won't presume to speak for the board, but I would guess that my colleagues would agree with me that our interactions with you, Lisa, and all of the work that we've done with you over the years, we've seen nothing but exemplary work from you, and we're extremely excited to see you in the auditor treasurer position. Is anybody, Commissioner Burke?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was wondering if everybody, as well as her, be comfortable just coming up to the podium so the public knows who she is, and then maybe ask her for about a 15-minute speech. But introduce herself anyway, so people can see.
Or charades if you don't want to do it.
It's an important position, so there she is.
I would have asked you if I had had the chance to earlier, and I apologize for that. So, Lisa, welcome.
Thank you so much. I guess I'm not sure what you're looking to hear, but my name is Lisa Weiss. I've been with the county for the last 7 years. I graduated from the College of St. Benedict with a degree in accounting and organizational leadership. And my first position out of college was working in public accounting for Larson Allen Wisher, which is now CLA. And then I relocated to Welmer as the trailing spouse. I worked at Bremer Bank for 5 years. I was a financial analyst there. And in that position as a financial analyst, I actually worked with Sam Moderman on the overnight pledging for the securities agreements for the funds that exceeded the FDIC insurance balances. So kind of go way back to that. I spent 12 years at Affiliated Community Medical Centers as a senior accountant. In that role, I did general ledger. I oversaw accounts payable, payroll, benefits. And then I took a step back and I worked part-time for Border States Management, also in those same roles of doing accounting across the board, from different sales tax things to payroll, general ledger. And then when I wanted to go back to work full-time, the position of benefits coordinator was available at Candy, Ojai County, and I love payroll, I love benefits, I love that interaction with people that you talk about, and so step back into full-time employment. And then this position becoming open was just another opportunity to continue to grow in my career and take on new challenges and learn new things. So I'm very excited to be starting. Like Kelsey said, we've been working a lot together on some of those things and signed up for a lot of training, and we'll hit the ground running, learning lots of new things, so.
Commissioner Burt.
No, I just,
Okay. Well, Lisa, thank you so much, and thank you for that, introducing yourself to everybody, and look forward to seeing you in your new role soon. We'll miss seeing you here, but we know where to find you.
You sure do. Yes, I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The one other thing I just thought I would mention is that I would like to propose another building work session, possibly in October, get through this budget cycle. And then we have a Health and Human Services work session after the first meeting in October. That's already pre-planned. And so this probably would be outside of the first or third board meeting, but I would like to, and so maybe towards the end of the month. I know a lot of staff have, and maybe commissioners have training or conferences at the beginning of October. I know I do, so I was thinking more towards the end. I don't think anybody is pushing to get this, have a decision made, but I just don't want this to fall to the wayside. So you don't have to give me dates right now, but I am looking maybe more towards the end of October. So if you do have any conflicts, just let me know, let me or Melissa know, and we'll kind of, I'll work on a couple dates so we can get something planned for that. And other than that, it's probably just been hitting the ground on the budget and working closely with the auditor treasurer department these last few weeks. So other than that, I don't have any other administrative updates. I just wanted to talk about that calendar and that possible work session.
Thank you. And with that, we'll go to commissioner report outs. Who would like to go first? Commissioner Berg.
I can go first, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Actually, I've had a lot of meetings this last couple of weeks, but really nothing much to update you on from them. But I do want to take this opportunity to mention that the Captain's Academy Open House is going to be on the 21st or Thursday from 10 to 12. And I believe the chamber might be there for a ribbon cutting at about 11. That's the last I heard, so it might be a good time if anybody's going that want to be part of that. This is located at 1005 Lakeland Drive Northeast, and it's a big house that was renovated and for Prairie Lakes Youth Program. Because of the lightning and the fire at the old place, we need to do something, and the Prairie Lakes Program own that property, and they renovated it, and they assured us, and they guaranteed us, and I've been telling everybody it'd be all ready by the 1st of this year, but actually it's going to be ready now, finally. So that's the last time I'm going to go by that advice. I should have known better that it'd get done that quickly. But it's going to be an open house there. I'd like to encourage everybody to come to see what the facility is. It's going to have rooms for 12 males, juvenile males there. And there's also, I believe, like 3 swing beds in the base, in the lower level. So I just want to remind everybody of that.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Dale Anderson.
Just a couple of things. We had a Middle Fork Watershed meeting just a week ago, and they were working on actually the project that we just okayed with the Rinky Noonan. That's one of their big things. They've had major staff changes there, so it was kind of fun to see the younger and energetic people. They had a couple interns that were leaving now at the end of the month and going back to school, but a lot of things that they're working on, monitoring and doing testing for different lakes to make sure, and seeing how much algae and stuff like that is going on, just so everybody knows for the future of projects that they're looking at and things that they're doing with that. Had a great fair. I guess you already mentioned that a little bit, but I think it was a hot, humid fair, but yet I think we had a lot of people show up for it. That was kind of a cool thing. I didn't get a lot of time to sit in our booth, but I did jump in there a couple times just for a few minutes when people weren't there. It's fun to see people and see their interest that come through that area to check out what's going on. Had a quick CCT meeting, very quick CCT meeting last week. And that is interesting to watch and see how that's gonna go. But other than that, that's really all I had.
Thank you, and I did see you at Rest once during the fair, and I let you know about it, so. Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
Okay, yeah, so I had, well, of course, the county fair, so not a lot of regular meetings, I don't think, really going on, but I had the county fair, so I was there on the 7th and got to visit with people there. And then, of course, we had a road and bridge meeting, which was August 11th. And then from the 13th through the 15th, I was at a MOB conference, which is Minnesota Association of Workforce Boards conference, and that was up in Duluth. It was jam-packed. You think you'd have a little time to go see things, but it wasn't. It was pretty much from like 8 in the morning till 9 at night. And so I get done with the conference and pretty much went to bed. So, but it was interesting. They talked about AI technology and of course how that can affect counties and maybe some of those type of things. If we go that route countywide, maybe we have to consider to have it be like a internal type of setup so that the AI basically will take your information and then they keep it. And so you can't get it back. So if we go that route with the county, we might have to find a way to have some sort of secure type of software to use that would keep it internal and not allow it to get out in the public. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. A lot of our other information business oriented, and so sometimes you had to kind of struggle to keep awake for some of those type of meetings. But other than that, it was. There was a lot of good information, and I learned a lot at that conference. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Imdek.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, like you guys, I was at the fair, but I took a break from it on Thursday to attend a MCIT-sponsored land use seminar. It was a very good, there was 4 of us from the county, 3 from the staff and commission, and as well as myself. Very useful, very good information on land use. It was presented by 4 attorneys that each had kind of a specialty area like variances or setbacks or whatever. And then I had to take a break from that. I am on the MnDOT Local Road Improvement Program Advisory Committee, and so they went over the criteria for applying for LRIP grants this year. I think they're gonna be open on the 16th of September and go through December, so there'll be a lot. They weren't expecting any money out of the legislature for local road improvement, but they ended up with $47 million, so that was a meeting we didn't think we'd be having, but we're very glad to have it. And then I spent a half a day with the EDC director last week. Kind of giving her lay of the land in the northern part of Candioi County, showing her some areas that she hadn't already discovered on her own, and talked about the importance of tourism in the county and introduced her to some of the other EDAs and chambers in the area. Coming up this afternoon, we'll leave for, I think Steve's leaving tomorrow for the AMC board retreat, which will be in Hastings. And then on Saturday, just a reminder that there's a fundraiser for 2 of our staff members from probation parada and Thompson at the American Legion in New London from, I think, 11 till 3, but somewhere in there for hours.
Thank you, and between all of you all, you've covered just about everything that I was going to report on. I do want to mention something that is upcoming, and it is a webinar on the 26th, and I believe it is Extension that is putting this on, and you may have received an email on it, but it's called The Economic Impact of a Rural House, the Private Benefit of Public Action. And it's a discussion on, among other things, what can local units of government in collaboration with community partners do to help preserve and expand on especially entry-level workforce housing. And one of the presenters is going to be from Otter Tail County, where they have something called the Big Build, which is a goal of building 5,000 homes, either building and/or remodeling, refreshing 5,000 homes within Otter Tail County. And this is something they've been working on for a number of years, and I'm really excited to be especially putting the KCED hat on, looking at, and as well as the HRA hat, because I serve on both of those boards. So looking forward to that. If you don't have a invite sent to you and you want to attend that, let me know, and I can help get that for you. So with that, I did attend Prime West meeting on Thursday. Commissioner Berg was able to join us virtually on that, and so that organization is in the process of receiving the retirement notice of its longtime founder and director, and looking for that person's replacement, and they're currently working within that process. It's been a little bit of a tough year for county-based purchasing. But, it's an exceptionally strong organization financially, and no doubt that they'll get through this time of uncertainty and come out stronger for the end. That's been their history from the word go, and I don't know if Commissioner, you've been on there a long time. If you just want to comment on that at all.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. No, you summarized it quite well. I just want to add, it's been a tough time for all kinds of health care plans, struggling. Big changes taking place, as we all know, in healthcare and expenses and costs. So it's a struggle for all of them.
All right. Does anybody have anything else that they wish to bring forward under the administrative updates? If not, then we are at the end of our county board meeting, and we will adjourn that meeting in just a moment, and we will take about 5 minutes, and then we will go into a county board budget work session. This will be for discussion and for information, and working towards getting that preliminary levy set next month. So with that, we will adjourn the County Board of Commissioners.